Beautiful morning, beautiful morning. We are live. We are live, and we are back. Oh my goodness, it's been a wonderful week, man. I can't complain. An extra day, extra day to sit around and be lazy. If you did that, with your time. Me personally, I did. I took advantage of it, man. I don't normally take advantage of it, but I took advantage of it this time, Danny. How about
Well,
yourself?
I'm glad that you took advantage of it, but I'm excited to be back, my friend. I was thinking about it last time. I'm like, man, it feels like forever, being that we missed on Monday, but it was a good day to grab an extra like 30 minutes of sleep or so. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to complain there.
Indeed,
It was
because I've been
also
up since
nice.
5:30. I've been since 4:30 this morning. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I woke up at 4:32, James. I woke up at 4:30. Did you go to the gym?
Yes, of course, man. I have to go get my sweat on, bro.
Good for you, my friend. I sat back and I relaxed. I watched a little bit of TV, and I was like, this will work. This will work. So,
Got you. Awesome.
And it was nice. No school right now, right? So traffic took me 10 minutes where it normally takes me 20 minutes to get here when school's in. So
exactly.
That was considered a win.
I would totally agree with you. I don't have to rush off the podcast today and drop my daughter off at school. So that's a plus. But yeah, overall, man, I want to thank everybody for tuning back in. And I would definitely, as always, we want to thank you for your support. This is episode 40, which means we are technically, if we get to 100, we can get syndicated. Now, isn't that the thing? Like 100 shows, you get syndication. I mean, that's
we're gonna be hammering the bell for the NASDAQ down in New York Exchange when we hit that 100.
So honestly, again, thank you all for tuning in, supporting. It's always a pleasure to get on here Mondays and Thursdays at 6:45. If you haven't already, you already know the routine. Make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification bell. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, please tag one of your friends, one of your family members, somebody that would benefit from this conversation.
Tell somebody
in the fields of real estate, insurance, mortgage, anything like that. We definitely, want you to share this with them. And thanks to everybody that's in the comment section right now. And again, continuous support is always welcome. Today is a special show, man. Today is a very special show. We have, honestly, we have a very special couple in the building. I love couples. I love couples in real estate because myself and my wife, we're a team, and you and your wife is a team when it comes to insurance. Working with your, significant other is a plus, and I think we really enjoy other people who get that benefit as well. What you think?
Oh, for sure. But you guys' scenario is definitely different than me and my wife's, and meaning because I write the insurance and she handles the claims. So we always go back and forth. I'm like, that's not covered? Yes, it is under this law, section 74B on page 97. I'm like, oh my God, so those are some of the conversations that the wife and I go back and forth with. But it is nice, right? In my side of business where we can bounce off of each other and relate and talk about the same thing and figure out kind of what's going on in the market and all of that stuff. She handles all 50 states. So her life is a little crazy and chaotic when the storms hit and the disasters happen, right? Because I only have to remember one state in Georgia now, too.
Right.
But all 50, I don't want any part of that.
Understood.
I will have my team in place by then for all 50 states.
I would agree. I would totally agree. You would want that, right? So with that being said, in 2022, she was 20. She was known as the 20 under 40 Realtors. She was named this in Orlando. And this is amazing because, again, a lot of agents come into real estate and they don't have that type of impact. And a lot of agents, we talk about this all the time, Daniel, they get in real estate and they're no longer a real estate agent a year from now. So that's a plus. So I honestly want to salute that. This year, she's been awarded for 35 under 35 with Orlando Real Producers Magazine, top producer of Top Listing Group, few years in a row. And shout out to our guy Ariel over there at Top Listing Group. You always gotta salute him. Coach of Top Listing Group, Excellence Award, multi-million-dollar club award by ORRA board. Last year, they did nearly $7 million in sales. Owners and brand new team, the Lux team, is in the building. Her and her husband, Carolyn and Jorge, have been doing this repeatedly year over year, clocking that money, man. And this is what we love to have in the building. We like success in the building. We like people who have grinded and put in the hard work to make it happen. Because it's not real estate. It's not easy, man. It's a very, very competitive market. Very competitive market. And you got to have people like Carolyn and Jorge of the Lux team do it because they lead the way for other people to do it. And when you are the example, you make things happen and you help other people grow. So that's why it makes sense to create a team when you're doing numbers like this. So Carolyn is in her 4th year. Jorge has just recently got licensed back in February, but they've been working in tandem since the beginning. So
the numbers don't lie, James.
The numbers don't lie.
And I love it when we have guests on the show, my friend, because it spreads a wealth of knowledge from other individuals. And, we all can relate to somebody or something that someone does. And then, you can either take it a step further or you can mimic it and stuff like that. So I'm super excited about the conversation to hear their story and figure out how to take it to the next level.
Agreed. So let's welcome Carolyn and Jorge. How y'all doing?
Hi, guys.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hey, good morning.
Thank you for the introduction. Thank you for the opportunity. Great. I love it.
Awesome. Well, no problem. It's a pleasure for us to have you here. I mean, honestly, to be able to talk to other agents and team leaders. And on top of that, as I mentioned, couples who are in the same industry, it's always an insight. It's a beautiful thing to be able to bring, you all to this forefront and give you the opportunity to showcase your greatness. So thank you again for coming by. That Lux team is in the building.
James,
Thank you.
It's funny because we're sitting here, the 4 of us in the morning, up early. And we're doing a podcast, but I bet all 4 of us wake up early every morning and start our career right over. Yesterday was yesterday. Today is today. And you've got to grind every single day in this business. And it's funny. I talk to a lot of realtors that get their license and all of that stuff. And, when you talk to them about starting a team, they have no idea. They see all the big names and everything on TV and the billboards, but they don't know anything about the team, right? And so once you get to that level as a realtor or a broker and you turn it into a team, you're not only building success for yourself, right? But you are trying to build success for every single one of those partners underneath you.
Exactly.
And it takes you to another level. It takes you to that second gear, and you got to keep pushing forward in this business. So, again, thank you guys for joining the show today.
No,
indeed.
We're so excited. Thank you, guys.
So, first of all, not only are you up at 5:30 this morning texting me, but you have a new addition to the family, correct?
Yes.
We do. Yeah.
Awesome. So let's talk about your new addition. Boy, girl.
She's a baby girl. She's 15 months now, so kind of getting into the toddler phase. And her name is Chloe.
Okay. Chloe's in the building. She's going to be a real estate agent as well?
I was going to say she's
selling cribs right now.
Okay. Love it. Indeed. And one thing we definitely like to pride ourselves on is family and keeping business structures growing. We talk about that a lot, building for our family, our future. And that's one thing that we do it for, our family. My daughter, she just turned 18. Well, she's about to turn 18. And I want her to come in real estate as well. It's a beautiful thing, and honestly, I think it's a lot of great opportunity for couples and other people to build wealth, whether you're an agent or you just investing, because we talk about that a lot here. And we definitely want to see more people give their kids that knowledge earlier in life versus waiting till they're too old to really understand. But yeah, congratulations on your new addition to the family. Chloe's already great.
I feel like Caroline has done an interview before because her response was, "Yeah, Chloe's selling cribs already." I love it, right?
So the thing is, you guys have seen maybe on our Instagram or other social media, Chloe is a big part of our business. I mean, we work from home, both of us. We don't have any family nearby, so she's literally with us 24/7. We're not ready to put her in daycare. With that being said, like sometimes she'll have to come to an open house with us and she'll have to do showings with us, and people seem to love it. Last Sunday we did an open house. We had 13 families and it was super busy, and Chloe was there playing with the kids of visitors.
Awesome. That's great. That's a selling point. We might need to pass that on to the other
I'm
mothers
just
in the
gonna have to
business.
borrow babies now.
Yeah, I'm gonna borrow a baby. I'm gonna go borrow a baby and just take them to open house and see if I can get more clients. That's awesome. That's great to hear. So
I mean,
let's get
it's good because you could say, that the open house is baby friendly.
Baby
right?
friendly.
It's just extra wording you could put on your marketing there.
I would agree with that. I would totally agree with that. So with that being said, let's jump into this conversation about real estate and the Lux team. Jorge, I understand right now you've only been a realtor since February, correct?
Yeah.
Awesome.
4 months so far.
Oh, okay, awesome. And you've already done 2 million and with 9 transactions pending.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's been great. I think so. Have my wife, being able to help my wife for like 3 years. It really prepared me to do what I do now. It's been amazing. I love what I do. I do it because I really have passion for real estate. I have passion to help other people, and so far it's been great. I really love it.
Awesome. That's great to hear. And just out of curiosity, what took you so long to go ahead and jump in there full throttle, man? 3 years? And you seen her killing it? Come on.
I think so. I wanted to be ready. I don't want to be that realtor that people ask questions and he didn't know what to answer. He didn't know what to say. I want to be prepared. I wanted to understand the market. I wanted to create relationship with other people before I get into the business. And I think so that's part of the success. I didn't jump in without having no knowledge. At the time that I started, I had almost all the knowledge. I was able to connect with a lot of people. I think so. That would be part of the success so far.
Yeah, I agree.
So with that being said, we've established that you started in February, and I understand 4 years now. So what made you, Carolyn, really dive into real estate? What got your motor going?
So I'm from Europe, right? And in Europe, the real estate world is different.
Okay.
You need a bachelor degrees and whatnot. And once you get into the business, it's definitely not the same kind of money that you'd be making here. It's just a regular job. And so I've always been very fascinated about all things real estate, houses, architecture, even construction. I love to walk into a construction zone and just the smell, everything. I've been in it my entire life. And so when my husband was in the Army overseas, that's where we met. And when he told me like, oh, I'm moving back to the United States, it just was like a little light that went on. Okay, I'm going to be a realtor. I didn't watch No Selling Sunset or whatever. All of that came later. But at that time, I was like, okay, I want to be a realtor, but I was still far away from me moving here because the process is not as easy. We were not married at that time. So we just decided, okay, let's file for the visa and whatnot. And in the meantime, I decided to get educated, not necessarily as far as licensing, because from what I was seeing, the license part is important, yes, but that's not really what you use in your day-to-day, right? So I started educating myself on YouTube. I watched tons and tons of videos. I was studying real estate like 24/7. 2 years before I got into real estate, I started following a lot of people here in Florida, from which these people, they're big here now. But when I start reaching out to them, they were part-time agents, and having seen that path of growth, and I created really strong bonds with those people because I was in Belgium. I reached out to them and they're like, what are you doing? Like, you're not even here yet. And you're already, and I was like, yeah, we're trying, and it's always been a passion. My mom always used to tell me like, listen, you need to save up, you need to buy a property, don't rent, it's a waste of money. And so it kind of is in my blood, and I just love people. I've always been in sales, which is, I think, one of my strengths. I'm very patient.
Yeah.
and so, yeah, here we are today, 4 years later. I mean, the initial year was rough, and we didn't really think this was going to go anywhere. But little did we know that we were going to sit here today and be successful. And we still feel like we're at the beginning of something great.
Great. And honestly, it takes a lot. I don't think a lot of people understand how much it takes to get to this level. So just what is the hardest part about getting started? What would you say?
Me personally, I would say when I start, I didn't know what kind of realtor I wanted to be. And then you start analyzing, and you get this analyzing paralysis or something like that, because you're thinking too much. You want to do a lot, but because you don't organize you say that like your what you want to do first, you stop. You don't do it. You just get shy, and you waiting for someone to help you and do it for you. And at the end, you have to do it yourself. You have to be confident. You have to self motivate yourself. You have to mention you when you talk to clients, you look with confidence. Because think about it, when you want to buy something, for example, you want to buy a car. See the salesperson come to you, he don't show you confident. You don't gonna feel good about it.
Right.
You're
I
gonna feel
agree.
like, car don't feel like he had the knowledge. I believe that, yeah, just be yourself, work hard, put things in actions. Don't just count the progress that you're doing. Don't see today you do cold calling, you calling a bunch of people and everybody hang out in your face. Don't feel bad about it. You did progress. You had less tries, and you try and you put things in actions. And I think so that's one of the hard part. Like the beginning, know who you are and what kind of realtor you want to be. That's tough.
I would say that you are 100% correct there. I want to reference the young lady in the room with Chloe and say that most brand new realtors want to run before they can crawl and they can walk. And that's a big issue. That's a big downfall, is when they want to start running right out of the gates, right? It's a process. You've got to figure out what that process is, whether it's waking up at 4:30 in the morning, and from 4:30 to 6:30 you start marketing. Then the next 2 hours you're driving for dollars, or what, as they say, whatever it may be. So you've got to figure out what your process is, and it's a long race. So you got to be patient.
I think I totally agree with you, because I don't think people enjoy the journey of success. I think they want to go from A to Z. Even for myself, the reason why I got into real estate, and I told this story a million times, I heard the dollar amount, and I wanted that dollar amount in my own pocket or my bank account. Right? It sounds great. Like, oh my goodness, 40,000 in 2 months. Oh my goodness. But the question no one asks is, how long did it take you to get there? What did you have to go through to get there? What is the struggles and obstacles of real estate that you have to cross and pretty much claw through before you're able to see that type of money? Like the first big check I cashed was 25,000, but nobody's talking about the 2,000s, the $1,500 checks. Nobody's talking about the $300 rental, rents. Like no one talks about those things. And you need those things to get to the milestone of being able to cash those $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 checks. And it's great it sounds great now when someone asks me, oh yeah, I cashed da. But the question is they should be asking is, what does it take to get there? What is the process of getting there? Just because I'm a real estate agent doesn't mean I'm successful. I know a lot of unsuccessful real estate agents. I mean, they're successful in passing their test and getting their license, but they're not successful in, like you said, cold calling. They're not successful in dialing or driving for dollars, or even putting out flyers or hosting open homes. Their mentality is bigger than what their actual experience is. And if they have a bigger mentality than they actually have an experience, they don't go far.
Yeah.
They stay stagnant. They hang their license up out the year. So with that being said, and again, I definitely appreciate all of this, because 4 years, right? 4 years, this is what you've been doing this for.
Yes.
I'm roughly right there with you, 4.5 years. And I'm right here with a podcast, right? So I started with nothing my first year, sold one property, right? What was your first year like? What was that first year? What was those obstacles that you had to cross?
My first year, so I had 1 year that I was in the United States without a work permit, so I wasn't able to do anything. So once I actually received that work permit, I ran to a broker, I signed up. And I mean, our first year was rough. We really didn't really believe in it, I guess. It was more like, okay, it's a side hustle.
Yeah, this we didn't know the big impact that real estate can do,
because it changed our lives.
It changed our life for sure. We didn't know how much money you can do. We didn't know how it worked. She knows she wanted to do it. And at the beginning, it was hard. It was hard. I was working myself. I had a brand new house, 2 brand new cars, and I was like, "How am I going to pay for all this?" And she was not able to make any money. And in some points, I remember someone told me, "Hey, just be patient. She's doing great. She's gonna do big things." And here we are now.
So with that also being said, the pandemic hit you as well, right?
Yeah, and I think so. I would say that was one of the best things that happened, at least to us, because I remember she told me, "Oh, the pandemic is going on."
It was scary to get in real estate. Like my first month, I was with KW when I just started, and we did like a month of training, right? And everybody kept telling me, "Oh my God, what are you doing here? This is like the worst time to get in real estate ever." Like that was my first month in real estate. Imagine how scared I was.
Trust me, I get it. I started doing it right before the pandemic as well. I get it. So it's hard.
I was there with you guys as well. Not only did I start my insurance business at that time, but COVID comes in real estate, and I will tell you, COVID to me, gosh, man, so many lives were lost and all that stuff, but it was a blessing in disguise on multiple levels for me for a business. I truly found out what the definition of grinding really is. And on top of that, I got to spend a lot of extra time with my teenagers in my house that I know if COVID was not here, I would not have been able to spend with them because they would have been out with their friends and gone and all that stuff. So, if I've turned anything, if I've ever turned a negative into a positive for me, it was that time. So, it's very difficult, but you make the best of it. And I feel like on the real estate side, I had one of my best years in 2019 because it was essential. And when it came to the insurance side of business, for me, it was like just calling. For 8 hours, I called everybody I knew and did everything I possibly could to continue to feed my family. My goal at that time was not to take any checks from the government. Like that was my goal, is like, I'm going to pay all my bills. I'm going to do everything I can. And if I could get through it, it was a win for me. That was my win.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, and for you all, like you mentioned that it was beneficial. What created that? Like, what did you do differently that you think other agents were not, doing that helped you like maneuver through that?
Through the COVID time?
Yes.
So my first year, we did 3 transactions. Most of it were personal referrals, which is very normal, in your first year of real estate. I didn't know nobody here, but my husband knows a lot of people. And, from the Army, he's from Puerto Rico. A lot of Puerto Ricans live in Central Florida. So that was really helpful. And then we hit like a point where the insecurity, and I think that's what a lot of people struggle with. Like you're so used to a monthly or a biweekly paycheck. And when all of a sudden that biweekly or monthly paycheck is gone and you don't get that, the insecurity can give you such anxiety that you just shut down. That happened to me a lot in that period. So that's when I decided, like, okay, let me find a job. So 1 year in, full-time agent, we switched it up. I went for a full-time corporate job Monday to Friday. And a lot of people don't know this. So we were keeping that quiet, kind of.
Yeah.
The secret, but we were just not throwing it out there because I still wanted to appear as a full-time and busy agent.
Right.
Which we did a really good job at. And so I had a full-time job, and then we also did real estate full-time. That happened to be our very first big year. Imagine.
Yes, right.
Around 6 million in sales while working full-time, and then we discovered I was pregnant.
Oh, okay.
But to answer your question, I think so. In the pandemic, one of the things that helping us a lot was we were so stressed out about what's going to happen that we start like study more, look into the history. Oh, what happened in the last pandemic? What happened with loans at that time? And we was able to focus and analyze the market a little bit better. I remember I told her, be like, hey, I think so the market is going to blow up. I think it's going to be like a nice market. And that's exactly what happened. And like I say, when you struggle with something and you decide to, okay, let me search, let me look it up, let me see what's gonna happen, and see different scenarios, they help you. That help you a lot.
I totally agree. I mean, I think a lot of people, when they get, like you said, that anxiety kicks in, and they clam up and they be like, well, I got to go do something else because this isn't it. That's your test. That's the big test. If you can make it through that, and you can actually pull yourself up, like they say, by the bootstraps, and actually get the work, man, the turnaround is amazing. The turnaround is epic. Like,
I mean,
honestly,
that year was rough. Not gonna lie. Full-time job, full-time real estate, full-time being pregnant.
yeah.
It was a lot. He was also still working at his other job, and then we got the baby, and 3 months in, I still had maternity leave on my job. He had paternity leave at his. Once that was over, we were just like, yeah, this is not gonna work. We are so not going back to those jobs. And that was a tough decision because, you get that biweekly, monthly paycheck, and that was a good amount of money. And so we both decided to quit our jobs. Imagine,
that's wow. Like, just imagine telling your family and friends, I'm quitting my job. Like,
I love it. I love it. If you don't take the chance, you don't know.
Exactly.
You don't take the chance. You have no idea what you can accomplish. And look, if you would have just not believed in yourself, you wouldn't be here right now doing the numbers that you're doing, growing the team that you're growing. And again, when you're your own boss, right? And we won't ask who's the real boss out of you two, right? I know James and his wife. I know who the boss is, right?
Exactly.
But, you've probably never been happier than where you are right now. Success, family, all of that stuff, and you can see the success.
And more than anything, it's not about money. I think so. In this point of lives, we're talking about how we can change generations. I'm from Puerto Rico, a humble family. I grew up with not too much, but my father was a hard worker. My mother too. My father was a business guy. My mother used to be in sales. And one of the things that I learned as an early age is that it's not money what change generations. It's about who you are, your mindset, how you motivate others, how you inspire others. And that's what we're doing right now. We want to inspire people to do great, to have financial freedom, to be family oriented. And that's the goal. That's the really goal for us so far.
Awesome. And I definitely appreciate you adding that, because it's not always about the money. And I think that's, again, when the agents get in it for the money, that's when they may make a few deals and they feel too relaxed and they fall off. And I totally agree with that. We do have a question here from B. Walker. Said, do you find that clients from other countries are underserved? Or do you?
I love that question. It all depends what countries you're talking about, but there's different. I mean, let's say Europe, where I'm from, I'm very, very familiar with the market, is very different. The service, the level of service you're getting is definitely going to be lower than what you're getting here. But the commissions are also paid differently, so it all really depends on how you put it in perspective. But I know, for example, my mom, they just sold a place back at home in Belgium, and I mean, the realtor was not really involved at all. There's no inspection period. So I do think that there are several countries where real estate is underserved, but I also do believe that in the United States, realtors are very undervalued. I know there are a lot of agents out there that maybe don't have the knowledge, or they didn't have the support when they just started, and they're maybe not the greatest agents. There's a lot of agents out there. But I do believe that the service and excellent service is important. It's stressful. We've bought and sold several homes ourselves before. The roller coaster is real, even for us being, known with how things go. The roller coaster is definitely real, both in the business and when you buy a house.
So I have a question, James.
Oh, go ahead.
So in Belgium, right, overseas, like here, typically you're 30 to 45 days to close. Are the closing times the same, or overseas, is it a little bit longer simply because of my knowledge is that when you're doing something like if you want to rebuild or you want to add something on, it has to stay into that kind of construction. If it's brick, it's got to stay brick.
The conformity.
Yeah. So just wondering, closings, are they longer than 30 days, 45 days? What's the average close time like for your mom and dad?
So normally it's around 3 months.
Okay.
The reason for that is people don't go to the bank to get pre-approved before they start home shopping. You actually go under contract and then you talk to a bank.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Super backwards. But I mean, at least it feels backwards because it's not our norm. So, okay, sure.
No, when she told me that, I was like, oh my God. So if these people don't get approved, like you guys are back to square one. There's also professional photography. You hardly ever see it. Everybody takes phone pictures. There is no such thing as open houses.
Oh,
They just
wow.
stick a sign to the window. So is very, very different.
It's very different. Okay. Got you.
I would be asking before they walk on my house, can you pull up your bank account, please? Can you pull up your bank app so I can see what you have in there?
like bring me a bank teller receipt or something. Like bring
Something.
me something. Okay. So couples in real estate, and you was just talking about that. How far would you all think you would have gotten individually if you weren't a couple in real estate? If you wasn't as Jorge, if you wasn't as invested in the real estate before you even got your license, do you think you would be where you are today if you was just individuals?
Not really, because we work as a team, and I'm really good talking to people. I'm really good like educating people, explaining the process. She's really good dealing with like
I'm
emails.
very good at the entire back end part of it, like being creative with offers and strategize things. I'm also very patient. So, if sometimes things happen, then I'm just jumping in and try to find a solution to the problem that we're dealing with. But I think I wouldn't have been where I am today. I'm not a born hustler. 100% not a born hustler. Okay. Like I've never had a very difficult life. Like I didn't have the best life when I grew up, but it was also not bad at all, right? And so I never had the need to hustle.
Got you.
We have usually you have a very stable life and it remains that way for the rest of your life. Here in the United States, you can be or at the bottom, you can be at the top, you can be in between, and it can go up and down. Like there is so much opportunity here. And so my husband, he's a born hustler. So imagine, like, he kind of pushed me to become a hustler, which is wrong. At some points we have fights about it. He was being really tough on me. Like the army him came out.
Yes. I was wondering when you mentioned being patient a couple of times. So I was like, is it the PTSD from the army that got you like, I'm not patient at all. Let's get to the bag. Let's get to it.
To be honest, to be honest, man, I'm learning. I'm learning to be patient. I'm learning to deal with people because when people buy houses, they sell houses, they go to a lot of emotions. Yeah. And as a realtor, you deal with all that. And sometimes you have your own emotions too. And when you deal with 8 people at the same time, and everybody has different emotions, it can break. And then sometimes I totally agree. Back up and be, hey, Carolyn, you're really patient. Can you talk to this client? But yeah, we work together, man. I won't be here without her.
I think we complement each other in so many ways. Like his strengths are definitely my weaknesses and vice versa.
Exactly.
And I think that's just what is going to be our success in the future too.
And this is why I agree with what you're saying, because again, I relate to this couple things. Me and my wife is an Army vet. She's a vet as well. So her patience is really low. And I have to talk her off the ledge with her clients 80% of the time, like, babe, just breathe. It's okay. It's gonna work out, So I'm more of a Carolyn and she's more of a you. That's kind of that's where we are in our relationship and our business. So that makes me think, like, at some point you was like, you know what? We can grow this. We can build this. And we do have Ariel in the building. So thanks, Ariel, for putting this interview together and everything.
James, I will say with the power teams here that we are talking, you and your wife, Jorge, Caroline, stuff like that, it's important that in this team structure that you do counter each other, correct? Like know someone's strengths, know their weaknesses, and then you play off of that stuff. And I feel like that it's important that you find that early rather than later, because then if it's later happening, it's a mess, right? You need to find it in the beginning, know your lanes, And I will say, Caroline, I love dealing with, a lot of people are going to go crazy on this. I love dealing with issue files. Like, I feel like a firefighter sometimes where I got to put fires out.
It's fun. It makes it fun.
It really, really does. You know, I just had a closing that took 90 days. And if I did it, if I had hair, I would be bald. Right? Like it was tough. It was one for the ages. My wife, not in real estate, was like, do you want to let this one go? And I'm like, no, I'm going to get it. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to do what it takes.
And I agree, Danny, because those, like, it makes it fun to be in real estate with those. The easy ones, you know, they're pre-qualified. You know, they have everything they need to close. You know, they've already bought a house before. They know the structure. Those are cool. You know, those are guaranteed checks. But the ones that have a little bit more sauce on them, that you have to add a little bit more flavor to get the deal done, it makes it exciting. It starts to test your character of like a real estate as a real estate agent or a realtor. So I definitely agree with you. I think those are super fun, and I honestly need at least 2 of those a quarter. I need 2 or 3 of those a quarter.
My wife just chimes in and goes, you know, do whatever it takes to close the deal. But I can tell you, after like the 45th day, I was like, don't ask me anymore. Ask me in 2 days. Don't ask me every day. You know, like it was getting there. So,
So one more question before we move on to this next topic. I was going to ask you, when it comes to you being a couple, it was something that happened in real estate that said, you know what, we can take this to the next level. We can have a team. I know for us, Ariel was a big part of that play. As well, he was like, listen, guys, y'all are this, you can be this, you know, I think you should try it, you know, and go after it, because it seems like this is be a great path for you. That was the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, Ariel has played a very big part in our success. Whenever we joined Top Listing Realty, before it was Top Listing Group, when we merged with EXP, it completely switched. Like, coming from a place where there was no support and you felt very lonely, you all of a sudden get into this warm family where people want to share and they're supportive and they answer the phone when you call. Like, that makes such a big difference. And then, you know, organically, you are attracting other people to that, because you're like, you feel lonely too, like, come over. And we kind of created, like, before Deluxe Team, right? Like, we have had the girls on with me as their sponsor for about a year. Yeah. And we're just such a tight group. And Ariel was like, just make it official. It's like, it's there, make it official, you know, because we were doing group events and everything. And then my husband, you know, he knows a lot of people from the Army. And that's when, you know, he started more, not necessarily recruiting, but if we hear of someone that needs help.
I was educating people more than anything, because I was going through the process to buy and sell houses myself. I think so. It gave me like a really good, like, I was able to explain people in a really basic way for them to understand the process and made them feel good. And then at some point I was sending more than 10 people a year to her, and she was closing all of them. And I realized, oh, I'm able to do this myself too. And to be honest, Ariel is a great person, amazing guy, but not only that, when you want to open your own business and you had a vision and you want to grow that vision, you need to be around people that have the same vision, the same mentality that you are. And Ariel is a guy that he just wanted to help. He wanted to serve. He wanted to give Realtors value. And that's amazing. You don't find too many people like that. Everybody think about money, but nobody think about how can I impact people's life and change and make them be successful. And Ariel is a great guy. And at the beginning, I remember Carolyn started the thing. I got my brand new license. We were struggling.
Because I focused so much on the team that at some point it just became overwhelming. And the team knows that. Like, I mean, we're new team leaders. I'm very structured, but we're also still going to make mistakes. I mean, we're at the beginning of this, and the girls know we're in this together. But it was hard because at some point I really focused on the team and I kind of neglected my business and left him on his own. Like, there was a moment where it was kind of rough.
And I think so, Ariel, at that point, I remember he sent me a message. He said, hey, I know Caroline is busy with the team. What about you come to the office and I start giving you training? And for me, that was amazing.
Listen, that's worth a lot. That's worth more than gold when someone is as busy as Ariel is taking his time out to serve and help you grow and get to the next level. So again, Ariel, we all appreciate you here on this platform. And man, yeah, keep being great as you are, bro. Next question. Most memorable moment in real estate right now. Before you answer that question, I want to ask Danny real quick. What's your most memorable moment? I know we interviewed him, but I want to hear yours. I know you've had a little bit longer of experience than we have. So give us an example so we can have something to compare to.
I will tell you this, right? One of the most memorable moments I have in real estate is not a transaction that I sold or bought, right? It was my own personal experience. It was June 2004, right? I'm driving around with my wife. We just had our daughter. I didn't want our daughter to grow up living in an apartment. I wanted a backyard. I wanted all that stuff. And so we reached out to realtors. We're looking at houses and all of that stuff. And this moment stuck with me forever. We're driving around and I'm talking to this realtor and we're looking at this new house and I love it. And I was like, man, I'm really thinking about being a realtor. Like, you tell me more. And he said to me, he goes, you don't want to be a realtor. There's too many of us out here already. I closed December 21st and I saw that guy. I saw him 2 times. The day we went and picked the house out and the day that we closed, and he made $6,000. And I said, that guy just doesn't want me out there. He doesn't want to compete against me. Okay. I went and got my real estate license right afterwards. And I was like, fair enough. And so that moment sticks with me because I get all the time when I'm out and about and people will be like, oh, well, how do you do real estate and how do you do insurance and all of that stuff? And, how does it work with 2 licenses and everything? And I'm a strong believer. You get as many licenses as you absolutely want because you don't know when an opportunity is going to be knocking on the door and you need to take advantage of that. So in real estate, that moment, I won't name his name, not with EXP, it was with somebody else. But yeah, he told me, you don't want to be a realtor. There's too many people out there. No way.
Yeah, I could never see myself doing that to somebody. Never.
No,
I tell everybody.
Why would you do that? And I was young. We were 23 years old. We had no idea. We're buying a house. And he was definitely over, I would say probably over 50, 55. And to not give some young person and some words of encouragement, like, absolutely, you can do it. Guy, you're only going to be around for like 10, 20 years, we still had 40, 50 years
to go. Right.
Yeah. So thank you to him out there that pushed me to go beyond or from settling and not trying to get my real estate license. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Guy, whoever you are.
Yeah. Off record, I'll give you his name.
So what about you all? What's the most memorable moment so far in real estate that you've created together, with the client? Just whatever you think that moment would be.
For me personally, we talked about this last night, right? Is it the same?
Yeah.
So little did we know that moment was actually going to be last week.
Oh.
Yeah, you could tell the story. You know her story better.
Yeah, we had this client. It comes from, I know her family for a long time. A really humble family. I'm talking about her brother played basketball with me back in Puerto Rico. I know. Then I started hanging out with them when I was like 6, 7 years old.
Okay.
And they come from a really small family, small town. I would say like people that don't have too many opportunities. And she go to a seminar. I remember she texted me, hey, I wanna get educated about real estate with your wife. I sent her to Carolyn.
This is 2.5 years ago.
2 years, 2 years and a half. Yeah, she started going to seminar. How you say it? Seminar?
Mm-hmm,
Seminars. And in some point, I can tell that she's not giving up. She just keep trying. A lot of things happen, and she go back and she say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna make this happen. And that stayed in my mind. I remember I told Caroline, hey, do everything you can to help these people, because at the end, like I say, my goal is to change generations. And
she's the one
she's
changing
the
the
one
generation.
changing that generation.
Generation. That's
Remember
awesome.
we in that house doing the closing, and see that smile. And her mother was there. I know her mother really good, and I can tell her mother was so proud. Like, you know, like as a father, that's what you want. You want to see your kids to be successful, to be independent, to mention they're gonna be fine. You know what I mean?
She achieved a dream that she never thought could be real.
Right.
And that was like one of the most amazing closings, because she never believed it, and it happened, and you still had to pinch her like it was not real. And having her seen, like, because we have her on Facebook, right? She's a dear friend, seeing her write all these posts, like it was post after post after post, like how happy she was, and that she's moving, and by Orlando, welcome up Auburndale, and all these things. That for us, it was one of the biggest moments. Even though it was a smooth transaction, no complications, whatnot, she was super easy to work with. But just the emotion, seeing that emotion, and just knowing like we changed this family like for life, because she was that one person to change a generation.
And not only that, I believe I can tell when most of the clients that buy houses for us, it's like the mindset completely switched. Now they want to get more into, I need to educate myself about finance. I believe that I can do more things now, because I didn't believe that I can buy a house at that time. Look at me right now. I think so. Like, it's nice when you see people changing their mindset, and now they want more. Now they call you 2-3 months later. Hey, I want to get an investment house. You feel like that's the mentality that I'm talking about.
Yes, and I agree with you. I mean,
100%.
Again, I think we have a lot of relatable qualities. A lot of real estate agents do, especially the successful ones. A lot of us, come from, again, humble beginnings. We never thought that this would be our journey. We learned from someone, some person, some place, or some opportunity that came across our table. I was a inspiring actor. When I came across real estate, Daniel was buying his first house when he came across real estate. You've always been inspired to do real estate, but never thought you could see yourself doing it to this degree. In Belgium, you would have just been making $10 an hour doing this or something like that. I don't know. But just on that basis, the level of, humbleness that you have to get to this level, because I think a lot of people have this mentality that you become a prick once you get to this level of being able to start your own real estate company. You're making this and that on commissions. But when you have that foundation, when you have that drive to help people for the right reasons, for the reasons that is beyond anything money can even solidify, because at that closing table, we work with a lot of veterans. Me and my wife work with a lot of veterans. And the reason why is because they are the most underserved group of buyers in America. Like, the people look at a VA loan and they instantly, nope, I don't know about that. You have to really make it sweet. You have to put an extra little, sweetener in it for people to digest it or be consumable. So for me, I think I love those challenges. I love working with them and helping them get into those positions. I had a 25-year-old veteran that I closed last week. Great guy. Done 2 tours already, is in college for to be a chiropractor, and just the level of respect he has for me for what I'm able to have done for him. And now his mind is open to investment properties. As you said, he wanted to bag out of this deal multiple times. No, we're going to get through it, bro. Don't worry. This is just, some closings take a little longer, but we made it through, and now he's more excited to live his life more adventurous and more like investing more into his future financially. So I love that feeling. That feeling is going to always stick with me, and I'm going to always need that feeling for the right reasons. It's not about the money. I don't care about the checks, are going to come as long as you're serving people correctly. And that's what I appreciate about real estate agents like yourself, that you really want to serve people for the right reasons.
Yeah, I will
come back.
I will say, James, I mean, I know that gentleman sits with you because we've talked about him off record as well. And you've said it multiple times, man. You wish somebody would have been there for you at 24 years old to give you a little more guidance, right?
Man, for real, yes.
And you've made a partner there in him where he believes in you. And like Jorge said, in 2 months or 3 months, if he hasn't already, he's probably going to give you a call and be like, all right, how can I expand my portfolio? Let's look into some passive income, or let's look at maybe doing a fix and flip, stuff like that. And that's exciting because you just turned an acquaintance into a friend, family member with that young man and his future. So that is what, again, I call a win, my friend.
A win. Yes, indeed. So yeah, I mean, honestly, with that being said, I got to ask you all this. And again, we definitely appreciate you coming by. This was a great interview. But the biggest question that I have for you is, what is the ultimate goal? What is the ultimate goal for you and your team success over the next, let's say, I'm not going to push it to next 20 years, but what is the ultimate goal over the next 5 years?
James, we are so much on the same record because I was getting ready to say, you cannot let them leave without me asking my question. And that is it.
I apologize, bro. So you go ahead and ask it. My fault.
What is your next move? What's on the agenda? And what advice, would you give to somebody that is just starting their career? So take it away.
Okay, let's start with a goal. I would say 10 years from now. I mean, we have it pretty much written down.
Okay.
We got too many goals.
First step.
This year we want to get Icon. I think so. That would be a goal.
For those who are not with EXP, Icon means basically that you cap and you do 20 additional deals, and then you get all of your money that you put into EXP, you get that back, and you receive a special award for that, which might bring you, more business, more referral business. It really puts you at the top of agents within the company.
Make your resume look better. More than anything, we want to keep inspire others, to be honest. Keep serving the community, keep serving to us team, and just make great relationship with people. You know what I mean? Like, we just, like Carolyn said, we are in the beginning, and we had like big goals, a lot of things that we want to accomplish. But more than anything, I would say keep growing as individuals and as a couple. And more than anything, my goal is to don't take the easy way. I like to, when I see complicated things, I'm going there because that's the way that is gonna make me grow the most. I don't like to be like, this is easy. I go, no, but then it's easy. I won't learn anything. With that said, yeah, just keep going, growing a lot, keep inspire others, make us think bigger. And
in 10 years from now, I want to be retired. I don't know about
10
you
years
guys.
you want to be retired.
Chloe will want you to be retired as well at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I will tell you this, Jorge. When I see you at the Christmas party this coming year, I won't ask you how many sales you have. I'll ask you how many people you've inspired, my friend. So I'll ask you both that question at the Christmas dinner because that's the key. That's going to get you to that 10-year retirement, is inspiring people, believing in people, and making people believe in themselves. That's what it's all about, right?
You know me, man. I love it. The retirement thing, though, we never going to retire from this. It's too fun. It feels too good. We say we want to retire. We might want to retire from opening doors. Yeah, we might want to retire from opening doors and having to drive around all day. But serving, I think serving is just so. It's just so huge. I don't think anybody ever wants to stop doing that, especially when you're doing it for the right reason. So I accept that you want to retire in 10 years, but also say in 10 years that retirement is to refresh. It's a refreshment into something else. So I look forward to seeing the growth.
Yeah, for sure. Say that again? Would be like another step. The goal is to be able to travel, keep helping us team, be able to help people, but in another level.
Level. Yes, yeah. Indeed, exactly.
You need to travel to Belgium and figure out how to reduce the days on the market over there is what you need
to
to
do.
do.
Wants to sell a house and I need this money today. The market may change.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because I used to ride horse, and the person who owned that horse, I just found out 2 weeks ago, she and her brother actually own a real estate company. She's owned it forever, but it's so secret. Like, how could I've known her for almost 15 years and I didn't know about it.
Didn't even know it.
No.
That is wild. That is wild. Awesome. Well, listen, again, it was a pleasure having you both here. I think we learned a lot from you all. It is very inspirational, to see, again, couples work together. We need to see a lot more of that in the world. We need to see a lot more serving people, being influential to people in their lives and being able to just grow and bring prosperity to the world, to this business, because as you mentioned, we are undervalued in real estate in a lot of ways. We have to fight for what we may already deserve. But overall, if we carry ourselves professionally, we work and do this thing for the right reasons, I think as real estate agents, we can get back to the point where real estate agents are respected in the sense that we're not just looking to get a dollar from a seller or a buyer. And that would change the perspectives overall. But with that being said, again, I thank you all. I thank you again, Daniel, everybody that's out there watching. If you enjoyed this, please share this with somebody that you may know. If you haven't already, if you're on Facebook, YouTube, if you're on YouTube, please hit that like button, that subscribe button, and notification bell. Before we go, can you please give out your social media and where people can find you if they're looking to purchase, buy, sell, just learn how to be a real estate agent, join your team in that area of Florida?
Sure, absolutely. They can go to either or our website. So it's buysellinvestorlando.com. But you can find us also on Instagram. Your Instagram is Jorge_Torres_realtor, and mine is just my name. So Caroline Van Stevenant. I know it's hard to say, but it's just my plain name. So that's where you can find us. And please reach out to us anytime about anything. Even if you're not looking to join a brokerage or you just have a question or whatnot, we're always looking to help people. And if that benefits us in the long run, that's fine. If it doesn't, that's fine too. Like, we just here, come from contribution first.
Understood. And that's totally agreed upon. Well, with that being said, I thank you again, and everybody out there. Please drop a comment in the comment section once we end this live. If you enjoyed this, I hope to see you Monday. And this was the closing table. And
I love it. I love it. Thank you guys so much for coming out today. And the next time you have an inspirational story, don't be strangers. Come back, tell us all about it. And until Monday, my friend.
Sounds great. Have a good one. Thank you.
Have a great one.